On the mist-shrouded shores of a forgotten Scottish loch, a lone traveler stops, mesmerized. Before him stands a magnificent, riderless horse, its powerful form a vision of impossible grace against the gray water. Its coat doesn't just shine, it shimmers with an unnatural, otherworldly light, a liquid silver that seems to flow over its muscles. Its eyes, deep and placid, promise an end to all weariness, an invitation to a profound and final tranquility. The traveler, drawn by an unfathomable pull, reaches out a hand. That single, fateful touch is the last free choice he will ever make. This is no mere animal. This is the lure of the Kelpie, an ancient and terrifyingly intelligent predator of the deep waters. The moment flesh meets its hide, an arcane adhesion takes hold, an inescapable bond. The beautiful creature then plunges into the icy depths, dragging its captive to a silent, watery doom, its placid eyes now burning with a cold, primeval hunger. This phenomenon isn't confined to a single fireside tale. We are examining a consistent pattern of encounters, a chillingly uniform legend documented across the whole of Scotland. From the dark, peaty waters of Loch Ness to the remote, storm-lashed shores of Loch Corruisk, the accounts echo one another with terrifying precision. For centuries, witnesses have described the same shimmering hide, the same irresistible allure, and the same horrifying adhesive trap. The sheer volume and consistency of these reports point not to folklore, but to a living, breathing organism with a highly specialized and successful method of predation. These are not just stories meant to warn children away from the water's edge. They are field notes, compiled over generations on an elusive and lethally dangerous cryptid, a water horse whose existence is woven into the very fabric of the Highlands. But the true terror of the Kelpie lies in its profound duality. The horse form is a masterpiece of deception, preying on our compassion, our sense of wonder, and our instinct to aid a creature of such breathtaking beauty. It is a lure crafted to disarm the wary and ensnare the kind-hearted. It is a perfect, living trap. Yet the ancient lore, the most chilling accounts, speak of another form, a second disguise, perhaps even more devastatingly effective. They describe a handsome, charming man, often found sitting by the water's edge, his clothes strangely damp, his hair tangled with river weeds. He appears lost or in distress, a figure designed to evoke sympathy and desire in equal measure. This human form preys upon a different set of instincts. It is a social predator, using loneliness and allure as its weapons. The Kelpie, in this guise, can walk among us, its true, monstrous nature hidden behind a mask of familiar humanity. This raises the central, unfathomable question. How does a creature of flesh and bone achieve such a radical, biological transformation? Let's first analyze the equine form as a marvel of predatory evolution. That shimmering coat isn't merely for show. It's a sophisticated biological system. We theorize it's comprised of a complex network of chromatophores and crystalline structures embedded within the hair follicles, capable of refracting light to create a hypnotic, entrancing effect on the human eye. It doesn't just look magical. It is a form of active biological mesmerism. And the adhesive skin? This is likely a biochemical secretion, a powerful epoxy-like mucus that activates upon contact with the warmth of living tissue. It's not a magical curse, but a tangible anatomical weapon. Once triggered, the bond is molecular, rendering escape utterly impossible as the creature drags its prey beneath the waves. To focus only on the physical mechanics, however, is to miss the creature's true eldritch genius. It is a psychological predator. Why a horse? Because for centuries in the rugged Scottish Highlands, a horse was not just an animal, it was survival. It represented wealth, freedom, power, and often the only companionship on a long, lonely journey. The Kelpie didn't just evolve a disguise. It evolved a key that unlocks the deepest parts of the human psyche in this specific environment. It weaponized trust. It transformed the ultimate symbol of life and partnership into an instrument of death. This is not the work of a simple beast. It is the strategy of an ancient, unfathomable intelligence. Now, we confront the process itself, the shift from horse to man. Forget puffs of smoke or ethereal mists. Imagine a violent physiological crucible. Obscure texts from the Scottish Highlands describe not a magical change, but an anatomical reconstruction, accompanied by the horrifying sound of grinding, popping cartilage as the long equine skull collapses inward. The very bone and sinew are forced through a brutal, accelerated evolution. This is not a gentle transformation, it is a biological tempest. The creature's powerful torso contorts, the spine shortening and straightening with agonizing speed. Muscles and ligaments tear and reform, the entire skeletal structure undergoing a catastrophic yet purposeful reorganization. The forelegs snap and reknit, elongating into the delicate, articulate structure of human arms. It is a process that defies all known laws of biology, a raw display of arcane power made manifest in flesh. What emerges from this unfathomable ordeal is a form designed for a different kind of hunt. The creature stands, no longer a beast of burden, but a predator walking on two legs. This metamorphosis is the Kelpie's most profound and terrifying secret, a testament to a biology so alien, so fundamentally different from our own, that it operates on principles we are only beginning to comprehend. The shift is not magic. It is a monstrous, living science. The human form is a near-perfect disguise, an exquisite trap built of reconstructed tissue, but even perfection has its tells. Across hundreds of chilling accounts, the clues are startlingly consistent. The man's hair is always wet, perpetually dripping with dark, cold water from the loch, no matter how bright the sun or how dry the air. It is a constant, weeping reminder of its true nature. And there is another, more definitive sign. Look closer. Often tangled within those dark, damp locks, or clinging to the fabric of its clothes, are strands of green riverweed or slick, dark kelp. These are not mere accidents. They are fragments of its home, pieces of the abyssal depths it can never fully leave behind, a telltale flaw in its otherwise flawless mimicry of humanity. Here is the core revelation, the truth that shatters our understanding of biology. The Kelpie is not a creature of flesh that shapeshifts. It is a hydrokinetic organism. Its physical form is not composed of cells as we know them, but of something far more elemental and terrifying. Its body is a cohesive matrix of programmable, biopolymer-infused water molecules, held together by an unfathomable arcane energy. It doesn't change its form. It completely rebuilds it, drawing upon the surrounding water of the loch as its raw material. The horse, the man, these are merely templates, intricate biological schematics it can construct and deconstruct at will. This single astounding truth explains everything. The adhesive skin is simply the outer layer of this hydromatrix becoming semi-viscous. The wet hair and river weed are not flaws in a disguise. They are integral parts of its being, leaking from a form that is struggling to maintain cohesion outside its native element. The Kelpie is not an animal that lives in the water. It is the water, given monstrous life and a predatory intelligence. But such a radical transformation, the complete deconstruction and reconstruction of a complex biological form, requires an immense amount of energy, a caloric intake beyond anything a normal predator could consume. So, where does this power come from? The legends give us a grim biological answer. The Kelpie doesn't just drown its victims, it feeds on them. The terrifying process of pulling a living being under the water is the very act of absorption. It is a transference of energy. The creature drains the bioelectric field, the vital spark, the very life force of its prey to fuel its next impossible metamorphosis. Drowning is not the cause of death. It is the mechanism of consumption. This horrifying process of life force absorption isn't confined to ancient scrolls. It leaves a chilling echo in our own time, a pattern of loss that defies all conventional explanation, written in the cold case files of those who simply vanished. And this predator is not a relic of the past. Consider the unsettling number of modern, unexplained disappearances around remote Scottish lochs. Hikers who vanish from the trail's edge, swimmers who go under and are never seen again. The official reports cite treacherous currents or tragic accidents, but they cannot account for the sheer number of these incidents, nor the complete absence of any trace left behind. A grim pattern emerges, one that points not to random chance, but to a recurring, successful hunt in an ancient, established territory. Yet, the lore offers a sliver of hope and a deeper mystery: the bridle. It is said that if one can seize a Kelpie's bridle, the creature is powerless and under the captor's command. Its arcane might bound to the will of another. From our new hydrokinetic perspective, what is this bridle? It cannot be mere leather and steel. Such mundane materials would have no purchase on a being of sentient liquid. The legends must be describing something far more fundamental to the creature's existence. We speculate the bridle is the Kelpie's hydrokinetic nexus, a focal point of arcane energy where its consciousness anchors its fluid form. To seize it would be to sever the entity's control over its own physical matrix, rendering its unfathomable power inert and directionless. The Kelpie leaves us with a chilling, wondrous truth. The world is far more ancient and predatory than our modern senses allow us to believe. Its existence is a testament to the shadows that dance just at the edge of our perception, waiting patiently. It teaches us that the line between myth and biology is a thin one, and that some legends persist not because they are fanciful tales, but because they are survival guides passed down through generations that knew what truly lurked beneath the water's surface. So the next time you stand by a placid, silent loch and feel that inexplicable pull towards the water's edge, remember the Kelpie. Remember that beauty can be a lure, and that stillness can hide an unfathomable, waiting hunger. The legends are not warnings from a forgotten past. They are living field notes from an ongoing reality. The world is brimming with arcane life, and we have only just begun to chart its breathtaking, terrifying depths.